Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have something else from Merrell. Have not reviewed Merrell in a while, so I am definitely very excited. Let's open up and see what it is. These are another hiking boots from Merrell. Erie Mid waterproof hiking boots, currently $120 on Amazon. The link is in the description below. Plenty of color variations. Overall, I do like the boots. They are definitely comfortable. Waterproofing is a plus. You know, guys, mid-size is my favorite size whenever it comes to the hiking boots, to the overall ultimate survival boots, because this is what the review is about. The only little complaint, not really a complaint, but more of a personal preference, these are a little bit on more of a spacious on the inside type of side, all right? Side. But I know some people do prefer spacious whenever it comes to the hiking boots overall. So if you do like spacious, you're gonna appreciate this. But they do run true to the size. So if you have your eyes on these, I cannot really say anything bad about these boots. Overall, pretty good. But let's start with the whole review, because if you're interested in buying these, I recommend watching the whole thing. As I've mentioned briefly, this review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival Gear section. Basically, if these were not just your regular hiking boots, but something bad happened, and you were wearing these boots, or you had them in the house, and you put them on and you walked out of the house, and now you had to walk and run and climb and fight and do whatever is necessary to survive, right? Would these be good for your survival? How do we make the judgment? We make judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let the review begin. Criteria number 1. Comfort level, of course. And in order to test the comfort level of all the boots and shoes that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run, non-stop, and then a 5-mile walk right after. No stop, no pauses, no breaks in between, so that I can have baseline judgment for all of the shoes and boots that I review on this channel, alright? And like I said, overall I am satisfied with the comfort level of these boots. There are of course a few factors that contribute or sometimes take away from the comfort. Let's start with the very first one, of course, the weight. And this is size 10, and the weight of the size 10 is, one boot, 16.8. Now, that's not exactly the super light or anything like that, but overall, it's definitely on the lighter side. And to give you reference number, whenever it comes to the weight of boots and shoes that you're looking for, if you're looking for something on the lighter side, you should be looking at something under 20 ounce. Now, the more over 20 ounce it is, the heavier it gets. The lighter than 20 ounce it is, the lighter it gets, right? So in somewhere around 15, 14, that's like probably some of the lighter boots that you can get whenever it comes to the mid-size. So 16.8 really, in my experience, is not bad at all, especially with waterproofing, especially with the outsole, because you can see the outsole is pretty bulky, so it gives you a decent amount of protection. All right, so overall, it's not that bad. There are a few other factors that contribute and take away from the comfort level. One of them is the flexibility of the bottom sole, and let's see how flexible this is. As you can see, this is extremely flexible, which is a huge plus. Makes it very easy to run. Not only easy to run, but also you can run properly in these boots without putting too much stress on your ankles, on your knees, obviously. So great job there, Merrell. All right, there's another factor that contributes to the comfort level, and it is the inner sole. And let me take out the inner sole so you can see how it looks. Nothing crazy over here whenever it comes to the inner sole, as you can see. Nice shape, good arch support, good heel pad here for support, but overall not much of the cushioning. So it is pretty stiff overall, not much cushioning, and once you take it out, it goes straight into the harder. There's maybe a little bit of a sort of a fabric, but not much at all. It goes pretty much straight into the harder rubber of the outsole. Keep that in mind. If you do prefer more cushioning, you might want to consider looking around a little bit more. But overall, the cushioning on the inside, as you can see, the tongue is nicely padded. The shaft here is padded. And then once we go into the toe box, there is some kind of a fabric that's going on around it, but not much. Again, on the plus side, this is spacious, so you shouldn't worry about your foot touching any of these harder parts of the outer, of the boot. But if you do prefer that stiff, tight hold, like I do, you would want something that has more inner padding. At least I recommend that. In my experience, that would be more comfortable. So keep that in mind. So overall, on the comfort level, it is pretty good. There isn't really anything that I can complain about. The only thing that I would say is if you prefer more padding, you probably want to look around some more to find some more padded inner sole, more padded inside of the boot in general. But down with the comfort level, let's move on to the criteria number 2, which is proofing and protection. Like I said, these are waterproof. Now, this is not any kind of fancy GTX or anything kind of waterproofing. This is their basic dry barrier, select dry barrier, whatever they want to call it. Merrell's waterproofing technology. Not bad. In my experience, I didn't have any problems with it. Now, speaking of the waterproofing, I wanted to mention the tongue gusseting over here. As you can see, the tongue is gusseted, and it is gusseted at about, let me tell you, about 5.5 inches, which is really, really good. Now, the lowest part of the shaft is a little bit less, probably 4.5 inches. Personally, to me, that seems a little bit counterproductive. If you are doing the gusseting at 5.5, I want to see your shaft at 5.5, right? So that you have a minimum of 5.5 waterproofing, right? If you step in a puddle deep, 5 inches deep, you're still good because you have 5.5 of the boot that is waterproof, right? Here it's a little bit counterproductive because you have 5.5 of the gusseting and 4.5 of a shaft in the back, at least. So it's a little bit, kind of, to me, that's a little bit wasted, wasted the whole inch of the waterproofing, right? Kind of a little bit of a downside. Not a big deal. 4.5, still decent for a mid-sized boot. Not that bad, but it could have been better. All right. Let's talk about the protection now. Protection, there is not much in the toe, but there's really pretty much no protection in the toe. I wish there was a little bit of extra protection here at the toe, maybe a harder rubber cap, maybe this rubber from the outsole going a little bit further out to give you, if you're on the rocky road, especially, it helps falling rocks and stuff like that. You do have some protection in the ankles, obviously, because it's a mid-size. Not much, because there isn't a lot of padding, and there is some protection in the heel. Again, not much. It's overall pretty soft, and of course the outsole, you do have a harder rubber, so keep that in mind. So overall, on the proofing and protection, pretty good. Could have been better, yes, but still pretty decent. All right, let's move on to the criteria number 3, quality and the design features. Now, quality-wise, usually because, I review, the way I review boots, I usually rely on Amazon reviews and comments from people. So if you have experience with these boots, go ahead, please drop your comments, in the comments below. How long did they last? What did you do with them? Because everybody's experience is different, right? For example, I can use these once a month on a light hike, and you can use it every freaking day on an 8-mile hike or whatever, or work. So it really is different. But overall, so far, there are over 90 reviews on Amazon, almost 5 stars, so people do seem to like these, and this is a newer model, so it's gonna grow. But like I said, the link is in the description below for Amazon. If you want to check out the reviews, I definitely do recommend checking out, at least, even if you're buying from somewhere else, check out the reviews. Just my advice to you. Now, whenever it comes to the design features, usually here I talk about the lacing system. Here, I do like the lacing system overall. I think it's very smart. There's metal hardware, which is good. It's a plus. 4 pair of close hooks, which are metal, and they're very nice. The strings are nice, and they slide through these metal hooks very easily. And there are 2 pairs of open hooks, which is great, especially whenever it comes to the hiking stuff, hiking boots. You do want those open hooks because they allow for quick tension release if necessary. All right, so overall pretty good. Let's move on to the criteria number 4 now, outsole, traction and stability. Now, whenever I do my run and my walk, I do it on a variety of different surfaces. I start from the older asphalt, then the newer tarmac, then I go to dry sand, dry grass, wet grass, trail surface, rocky road, and then marble and tile. Overall, I am happy with this outsole. It's very good, pretty flat, as you can see, so it doesn't dig in too much into the sand. But at the same time, it does have a decent amount of aggression. These grooves are fairly aggressive, so on the wet grass, they are not slippery. On the marble and tile, they are not slippery overall, so pretty good. The only thing I wish that there were some ridges here on the side. They are helpful whenever it comes to the climbing. Obviously these are hiking boots, so whenever, you know, people that create these boots, that design these boots, they don't think about more, right? But the ridges would not take much, and they would definitely be more extra for climbing a rope, climbing a tree, whatever you're climbing. But overall, I am definitely satisfied with this outsole. I think overall it's very, very smart design, and gives you good overall traction and stability. Let's move on to the criteria number 5 now, the temperature. Now, these are not winter boots, all right? They don't have any insulation, but because they are waterproof, you probably can get away at some more or less cold temperatures, especially if you implement some insulated socks. You can definitely use them as winter boots. Nothing crazy, but with insulated socks you can definitely handle some decent temperatures. Would they be good on the snow? Yeah, they would be pretty good on the snow because the outsole is overall very nicely balanced, so they would be pretty decent. On the ice, however, there isn't really much out of the box that is good on the ice, unless it's specifically ice boots with some spikes. So can't even comment on that. That's a little bit out of, you know, out of the direction that we're going. But whenever it comes to the warmer temperatures, whenever it comes to the hot temperatures, they're definitely very nice and breathable. I did not overheat at all because I was running in 92 degrees weather and did not overheat at all. So overall, pretty good. Now let's move on to the criteria number 6, the sizing. Like I said in the beginning, these are definitely true to the size. Now I always recommend getting at least half a size bigger, not at least, but half a size bigger than your normal shoe size whenever it comes to your hiking boots and really your boots in general. You want to have a little bit of extra space in the toe box. Definitely helps, especially whenever you're going downhill. Prevents unnecessary fatigue. Just a good advice that I got. These are true to the size. So if my normal shoe size is 9.5, I got these in 10, and they fit perfect, just like they should, with some extra space in the toe box. Overall, pretty good. Let's move on to the criteria number 7 now, the balance of application. So if these really were your ultimate survival boots, something bad happened and you were surviving, and these are the boots that you were wearing, that you were stuck with, would they be good to survive? I think overall they're pretty decent. Mid-size is my favorite whenever it comes to survival boots in general, because you still get that ankle protection, you still get a decent amount of waterproofing if they're waterproof, but you're not sacrificing that much on the weight, so you can still be fast, you can still walk for extended periods of time, you can still run in your boots, and that's a huge plus, right? The only thing is that the fitment. Definitely, if you prefer wider, a little bit spacious fitment, you're gonna appreciate this. If you prefer more stiffer, more tighter fit, you probably want to look around some more. So it really depends on personal preference. But overall, weight, features, outsole, overall comfort, I do like these boots. And the criteria number 8, the last one, is the price. Like I said, $120 currently on Amazon. I think that's a fair price for everything that you get in these boots. But at the same time, there is some serious competition in that price range, like from Salomon, like from Jack Wolfskin, like from Columbia. There's some serious competition in that price range. So, like I said, unless you're specifically looking for that fitment, wider fitment, and you're a huge fan of Merrell, you probably want to look around and see what other options out there, and I have reviewed hundreds of them here on this channel, so make sure to subscribe. That would be very helpful. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about this boot? If this review was helpful, please consider subscribing. That's definitely helpful. If you want to help me even more, please consider helping me out through Patreon. As some of you know, my main YouTube channel, my whole big YouTube channel with about 20,000 subscribers now, there has been completely demonetized, and that's where I had all my boot reviews, and I had to migrate everything here in the new channel, and unfortunately it limited my ability to bring you more quality reviews. Now I have to do them once or twice a month, whereas I used to do them pretty much every day. So if you can help me through Patreon, that will definitely help me bring more content to this channel. I would really appreciate it. Again, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.